Can you hear me?
I can. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm so good. I'm excited.
Oh, I'm so excited to talk to you. Your hair looks beautiful.
Thank you. It's huge.
That is some good curls there.
Thank you.
We'll just jump right into it. It's so good to meet you. Um, you guys, this is Tilly. So I started following you when you were doing face painting and everything. And
Oh,
yeah,
a
so
long time ago. Yeah, face painting. That was a while ago.
are you still doing that for fun or anything like that?
So when I moved to Hawaii, all my face paint melted and it was kind of expensive. So and then I was busy and I never really got back into it. But actually, now that I'm pregnant, I'm planning a face paint for my pregnancy and maybe painting my belly. So
Oh,
we'll
fun.
see if I can get that in before the baby comes. But yeah, I am planning something.
Yeah. So when are you due? How many?
So I actually don't know. And I actually think it's kind of crazy when people do know the day that they were due. Cause I'm like, did you only like get down that day of the month?
Right, because I didn't
Because
arrive
my other,
like on my due date. My son didn't arrive on his due date. Due date.
yeah. That's what I'm like due date. So it could be there's like a couple of possible dates of conception and they're all a few weeks apart. So basically anytime in October, but I'm thinking it's about 3 weeks away, I think.
Nice, nice. So
We'll
yeah,
see.
you've been through. Well, you're going through all of it right now, and I really wanted to get you on the show because I can't remember what it was like vaguely, but that was 11 years ago for me.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, he's really big now. So I really wanted to talk to somebody and pick their brain, like, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling so interesting. I'm so excited to like meet my baby. I'm having a little boy. So I'm so excited for that. But then I'm also just like, it's terrifying. Like you something we've never done and you hear all these crazy stories about it and it's just like it's I described it as like walking into like a dark room and you don't know what's in the room, but like everyone tells you it's amazing and it's going to be awesome and worth it, but then they're also like it hurts and it's hard. So I'm feeling a lot right now, but like mostly I'm just really excited for my baby to come. I'm excited to meet this little guy. I feel like we've been hanging out for 9 months and I'm like, man, it's like I'm gonna meet the love of my life soon. So I'm excited mostly.
Excited for you. It truly is like that too. And I remember feeling those things when I was pregnant. I was really scared for going through the pregnancy, but there's so much that your body's already doing and that you're feeling, and it's like, oh, I'm going through all these physical changes, but let's take a woman, let's say that, she just does adoption and it's for a newborn. She then also is going through a lot of changes in life because it's just a completely different, especially because you don't have any kids right now, right? This is your first.
Yep, this is my first one.
Yep. So I feel like I seen a quote that said, when a baby's born, a mother's born, and she was never there before, but she's there. And I always felt like younger, like taking care of my siblings and the neighborhood kids and stuff, like we kind of have those maternal nurturing instincts, as a lot of humans do, but it is a different script to be carrying your own baby and then taking care of your own baby. So
Yeah. I just feel like the pregnancy has been a chapter in itself and I've like learned so much about myself and I've like grown into a different version of myself, but I know this next chapter is going to be like even another like
yeah,
another level. I'm like, man, it's just it's like it changed everything for me. The second I saw that pregnancy test, it was like my whole world just went whew.
yeah.
So yeah, it's a shift. It's a shift.
Yeah. And like I said, your body's literally, I was watching some videos earlier on TED Talk about pregnancy, and just like all your organs are moving, your body's producing all these chemicals that you need to get ready for this birth. And following your page, you're getting ready for a natural birth, correct?
Yes, yes.
So do you mind telling me, like, how are you preparing for that? Because I didn't do that. So I have no idea.
Yeah. So from the minute I found out I was pregnant, I knew that I wanted a natural birth. I took a doula course that was talking about how death and birth are some of our most human moments in life. And they've kind of been sterilized and almost like like a machine type thing, like in the hospitals where it's like doot 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 doot, and I knew at the moment that I found out I was pregnant that I wanted something different and that I wanted it to be special. So from the minute I found out I was pregnant, I knew that diet is huge. So I started, eating really healthy and trying to cut out sugar and just really taking care of my body, just trying to make sure it's organic things. So that's like kind of what I did. I mean, obviously I ate like bags of marshmallows and I had my ice cream like we
Yeah, who
all
doesn't?
do. Yeah, like a couple times I definitely did that. But so that's kind of how I started preparing. And then I've been visualizing my birth ever since. Just every day I visualize, I'm going to do a water birth. So I just visualize being in the water. I visualize my baby coming out of the water. I do my affirmations of like, my body was built for this. My body knows what it's doing. Um, just like really pumping myself up for these last 9 months, basically.
Mhm.
I also am a Reiki master, so I've been giving Reiki to my baby and also sending Reiki to my birth for that day for me to be calm and cool and collected. And then, yeah, these last like 4 months, I've been taking like supplements like raspberry tea and eating 6 dates a day, which I've heard is like a crazy thing for women. Like I think like 90% of women who ate 6 dates a day had like less interventions during their pregnancy, and they were more dilated upon arrival at the hospital, and like all these crazy fun facts. So I've been doing that. And then, yeah, primrose oil
Nice.
for the delivery. So yeah, just like supplements and things, but mostly just mental. Like I feel like a lot of it is in your mind, and I've really been trying to let go of the fear that I've had around pregnancy and the stories that I've heard, and just really coming to a place of like, that's everyone has their own journey, and that mine isn't exactly going to be like everyone else's, and it might not go the way I think it's going to go, but it'll all be perfect no matter how it goes.
I love that. And something I kind of want to point out to our viewers, a lot of those things that you're focusing on in your pregnancy is things that we should practice all the time. Like what we're putting into our bodies, what we're saying to ourselves, and just having that realization that, I mean, this is my opinion. Moments are everything. Moments and human needs are life force. That's what makes us what we are. And of course, there's always goals. I like to call it your Disneyland, like wherever you want to go, like your Disneyland is the natural birth. But the way to get there, you have to love and embrace, the meditation and what you're putting in your body and all these other things, because if you don't, you're not going to get here as well. And I mean, I know reflecting back on my pregnancy, it was all sterilization, all hospital, all there's so much stress in it, just like the logistics of like, what are you gonna take in your hospital bag, and what's the first outfit, like dumb, that sounds mean. I think first outfits are so cute. That's not really dumb, but I mean things that truly didn't really matter. And I wonder, had I given my body that opportunity, because I had can't even, how am I blanking? It's an epidural, so it's called, like, can't even think of the name of it. But maybe had my body gone through that and released some, natural chemicals, that would have been a more emotional connection experience for me and the baby. And I mean, his scenario, he actually had, so I was 3 days late and he pooped inside his little sack.
Oh yeah.
And so it's extremely scary in that scenario, because it could be really bad for their lungs. So they, of course, as soon as they pop the water and they see that, they're like, no, like we need to get him out ASAP. And then it was just a little more dark, but the entire situation, like I think maybe there was definitely, even just leading up to my pregnancy, there was things that I could have been doing better just to enjoy the moment, but I was really stressed out about the world. There was so much going on.
Yeah.
So
That's been interesting for me. Luckily, I was able to be kind of away from things because I do believe a lot of it is energy is everything, and the baby can feel your energy and, you know, feel that stress. And so I've really just tried to be in places. I take social media breaks all the time and just disconnect. I don't watch the news. I don't do this. I'm like, okay, this is happening, but like this is not my this is not my main focus right now. I'm going to be in this place right here with like peace and just feeling good, because yeah, that I will feel sometimes that if I get stressed out, that then I'll stop being stressed out, but I can still feel the baby has anxiety over something. I have to like talk to the baby and be like, everything's okay, because the baby doesn't really know what's going on. They just feel that anxiety or the stress, and so they're like, I'm scared, I feel weird, I don't know why. So I like to talk to the baby and tell him, I'm like, everything's okay, everything's good, you're safe, I'm here, we're good. So it's interesting because I'll feel like the baby's like worked up a little bit longer even than I am. So
yeah,
energy is so important. Energy is everything.
so important. And I mean, it's not like you were a child, I was a child. We know that energy with our parents is important. We know when something's wrong. We know, and
Mhm.
whether you're pregnant or, continuing on with your life, that's always going to be a big connection between you two.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's so special.
Yeah. I'm so excited for you. I want to ask you personal questions. I'm like, what's the name? Like,
Yeah,
do you know all that yet?
I do, but I'm trying not to share the name because I had a little girl's name picked out, and
Mhm.
then I like was thinking it, and then I had like 10 people that had that name, and the name was Atlas. I love the name Atlas, but then and I'd never heard of it before, and all of a sudden there was like 10 people with that name, so I'm not sharing the name. And I told my baby's dad not to share the name either. I'm like, don't you dare share it, because it's kind of different. So I do know the name, but I'm not
Oh,
quite
so fair.
publicly putting it out there.
So
Yeah.
fair. That's cute. I will check it and find out for myself. And you guys, we
Yeah.
will include her information. I so like what you have like your public page and you are now
Yeah.
talking about your pregnancy. So
Yes.
give her a
That
follow.
is my that is my main focus right now. I am like so focused on anyone who is interested in natural birth, or anybody who's even maybe thinking of a natural birth. I was just so mad the more that I researched natural birth and hospital birth, that we're never told these things, and we're never told that we have a choice, and we're not told, the things that you can do to really prepare your body to do what it was made to do. So if anyone is like thinking of a natural birth, I would love to be a support, or answer any questions, or share my journey. Like I said, I haven't had my baby yet, so we'll see how it goes, but I'd love to share anything that I'm doing.
I love it. I love it. And that's the best part about influencers nowadays, it's real. I feel like we follow a lot of the businesses and brands that we do because the face of the companies get on and they're like, hey, here's who I am, here's my story. I've been through this. And as we know, like it's our story is not everybody's story. But that's how we relate to people. That's the best part about being human, is to find the people that you relate to and can connect with. So I like that you're starting this before you're having your son. It's like, you've already done so much. I know you traveled with your friend, you did your face. I'm obsessed with your face painting. Me and my son are very artsy. So I think it's super cute. And I like that you're kind of getting more into that when you're pregnant, because I just feel like crafty, artsy people always find like draw back to that somehow. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, and anyways, I just like that you're in the midst of it, you're going through it. So tell me, are you doing the water birth? Is this at your house then? Like you're
So I'm gonna have it at my sister's house.
cool.
And she has her thing. It's actually really funny. I'll show you on my phone. I have it all. I like took a picture of the bath, and then I photoshopped how I want it to look, so I can
I
like
love it.
really get clear on this visualization. It's really funny. I'll try to show you.
That's good planning. I would never have a wedding and just be like, here you go, you guys. Like I would be
Yeah.
like, here's where I see everything. Oh, so cute.
So it has like the little lights, and then it has like, I have this little picture up there, and I have affirmations on the wall, and then like some plants and all of my crystals, and like essential oils. Can you see that okay?
Yeah. Oh no, I can see it great. Yeah.
Okay.
And I can see the little music notes on the wall.
Yeah, like the
Cute.
music is playing.
Oh, that's cute.
So yeah, I have all my playlists. I have one for like when I'm feeling like it's like more tribal, like kind of tribal with drums and stuff, or when I feel like I need to feel strong. And then I have like a relaxing one, and then I have like a like empowering one that women are, this like you're strong, you can do this. So
Yeah.
I've got like all the things.
That's so awesome. I love that your sister's involved. You guys takes a village. So that's awesome that she's helping you with that. Um, Tell me a little bit about, so your entire fight, you thought she was a girl or he was a girl.
Yeah, so since day one, I mean, I think that I kind of had a feeling, but I wanted a girl so bad. So before I got pregnant, about a year before I got pregnant, I felt a little energy come into my aura, and I felt like it was my baby, but it was a little girl, and she told me her name was Atlas, and she was coming. And so that's kind of why I thought, like, is when I got pregnant, I was like, Atlas, is this you? Like, you're coming down? But yeah, so that's kind of why I was feeling it that way. But it was interesting because when I got pregnant, I felt two. So I almost thought I was having twins. And I
Mm,
thought the other one was a boy and one was a girl, but I thought Atlas was coming first. And so that, like, the whole time I thought it was her. So, but honestly, I did some of the YouTube videos about the wives' tales that are like, oh, if you're this, or if you're carrying this way, or if you're doing this, and all of them said it was a boy.
yeah. I,
But
I
I
had,
still,
that's crazy. I had dreams that I was having a girl. Like I seen and she kind of looked like me, but I seen me and my partner and my baby girl. And so yeah, all the way up into it, I knew that I was having a girl. And right as they put the gel on the belly, I seen it. I knew it was a boy. And before they could even
uh,
like it was so funny because they see because that's like the big finale. So they're trying to measure the head and the organs, and they're like, "Do you want to find out the sex?" And it's like the big thing. But no, as soon
yeah.
as they put it on there, he was like, "Hello."
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly how it was for me. And my baby's dad, he's like, I know it's a boy. It's a boy. It's a boy. And I'm like, no, I've got this like maternal instinct. It's just, yeah, but it took me a minute to wrap my mind around that because like as you can see, I'm a big visualizer. I really like to visualize my Disneyland, all the time. And so I visualized Disneyland with the girl. Like that was my life. We were gonna go, do our Disney songs and wear wear our cute matching mama and me clothes. And now I'm like, wait, now I've got to like repicture everything. But it's so perfect. I'm so happy. And like he's my little warrior guy.
Oh, you're gonna love it. And to be honest, so I've had a few interviews, and we talk about, what defines feminine and masculine and everything like that. And like my son loves everything. Like he loves what's that one song? Dang it, I can't think of the name. It's a Disney movie with the ice princess and Elsa. What is
Is
that
that a
called?
show?
Frozen? Frozen.
Yeah.
That's what it is. He loved Frozen. So constantly we would be singing Frozen songs together and just
Oh, good.
so
That
fun.
makes me so happy.
Yeah, yeah. It's such
Yeah.
a journey. And the best word to describe him too is sassy. And I feel like that's the best thing about kids is like the feminine masculine things just always mix. Like it never matters. And maybe I dress a little bit masculine sometimes. I love sweaters. Like I love big sweaters just to
I do
chill in
too.
my big sweater. Yeah, look at you. Like I feel you. Um, but yeah, he'll take my clothes sometimes. He likes my sweaters, so
Uh,
it's super cute. I love being a mom. It's so fun.
I can't wait. I'm seriously so excited. I just keep every day in my journal, I write like one day closer, and then I write him letters all the time. And I'm just like, I can't wait to meet you. I have like a whole book of letters that I've written to him already.
That's
I'm
great.
a little obsessed.
No, it's good. So I actually, because I wrote a lot until he was like 6 months old, and then I slowed down on writing. And there was a journal that I used to write in constantly, just when he would do things that I thought was funny, or just all the way up until he was about 7. And I found the journal and I gave it to him, and he was just cracking up because he's now old enough to read it, and he can read all these goofy things that he did when he was little. And it's one of his favorite little books that I wrote him. So I
Oh,
think
I
it's
love
super,
that.
yeah. So keep
Yay.
writing.
Yeah, I am. I am. I'm just like telling him how I feel, and it's just I'm gonna miss being pregnant though, I think. I've loved being pregnant and just having him here all the time. I feel like when he gets out, I'm gonna be like, wait.
Yeah.
But also I want to let him be his own thing, his own little spirit too. So I'm like, need to find that balance.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited. Oh,
Does he kick a lot? Is he super active?
yeah, he is. It'll like wake me up in the morning, and it's just like the best feeling, feeling that little kick, and I'm just like, oh, good morning, baby. I love you so much.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
it's a happy moments.
that's fun. It's my partner and I recently decided that I'm not going to do another pregnancy. It's just well, not to scare you, but postpartum depression. it's it's definitely a thing. And so I don't feel like I was really prepared for that the first time around. Um, and it's not really something I feel ready to go through. I don't know if I'll ever be ready to go through it again. But I really do want to adopt in the future. I think that would be a fun journey. But yeah, I do like, even just hearing about you and hello, baby, good morning. I'm like, oh, that sounds so fun.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous for postpartum depression. I get seasonal depression really bad, so I know that I have it in me for my hormones to be a little crazy. Um,
Don't we
I
all?
am gonna I am gonna try to do some things, like I'm gonna get my placenta encapsulated. I've heard that taking that can help with postpartum depression. And then also, like, I think too, just knowing it's gonna be a thing, and just preparing like, okay, this might come up, this could definitely be something, because I that is like something that I worry about too, since I also do have that. So I mean, I don't know what it's going to be like, but if I do get it, and if I do find things that help, I will definitely share that part of my journey as well.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of women do, I think.
Yeah, I remember it was the silliest thing. I had a breakdown over I was calling the insurance company for something, and I was on hold for a very long time, and the baby started crying, so I ran upstairs to make the bottle, and I could hear the hold music. I'm on hold for like 30 minutes at this point. And then as soon as I'm like done with the bottle at the top of the stairs, I hear the lady say hello, and I'm like, oh no, my phone's like on the charger. And so I run downstairs, and as soon as I get to it, she hangs up, and I just started bawling.
Uh,
So I mean, and again, as long as like you said earlier, it's all about mindset. So as long as you envision yourself getting through it, um, I really think that that's a huge thing that humans need to practice and reaffirm themselves that I'm gonna go through this. This is gonna be okay. Whenever you want something great, it does kind of come at a price, whether that's a degree or a baby or a home. Like building a home would be horrific, but it's a lot of work, but you get this great grand prize at the end of it. So I like that you're really honed in on the fact that like you're very realistic about it. You're like, I'm gonna do it. And maybe I'll go through it, but you'll find the resources you need. And I love that you're looking into placenta encapsulation, because that was not something that I had an option to do when I had my son, and it is becoming more and more normalized, and I love it. Do you want to tell our viewers a little bit about what that is?
So it's basically taking your placenta. I don't know the exact process, but you put it into capsules, and you take it. So basically, your placenta has all of these like amazing nutrients in it. It has stem cells. It has all of this stuff to help your body rebalance the hormones, that in your, like, that you obviously, your body's going through a lot, moving the hormones out. So it helps to bring the balance back with your hormones, and helps with postpartum depression and things like that. So it's kind of like helps to balance out your hormones. Our bodies are so amazing. In a lot of cultures, people will eat the placenta like as a stew or as a thing, and like the woman's body is so amazing that we have everything we need to, you know, get us through pregnancy. Like our bodies are built for this. So that's why the placenta is like there is part of, you know, helping our bodies. And a lot of animals, I believe, eat their placentas too. I think.
I think it's actually, it sounds a little unorthodox, but I do think it's a little healthy to look at animals and compare them to, I keep referring to us as humans as if we're just an animal, but I mean, we do a lot of animalistic traits. And I think it is really important. I'm off on a tangent in my head, thinking about when I had to explain bullying to my son, and, you know, notice wolf packs. Like, everybody kind of likes an alpha. Everybody likes a boss. People feel, in the adult world, we feel more safe, you know, rather than being an entrepreneur. Sometimes it is more safe to have a boss and have somebody lead you and tell you what to do. So I think it's really important to look at those things on what animals do and what they can actually do. Because I feel like with how developed we are as a species, we do forget like how our body is supposed to handle things. I read an article about how, again, this is a mom show, so if your kids are around, maybe plug your ears. A douche, like, that's not good for your body. You're not supposed to be putting alcohol in there. A woman's uterus and area is all self-cleaning. It knows what to do. Like, obviously there's like certain precautions that you do, but you're not supposed to put alcohol inside your body. It's really not good for you. So I like that you're looking into all the natural ways to kind of take care of as much as you can in your control. So
yeah, well, I mean, even, yeah, I love that about animals. Like, even my hypnobirthing book talks about how animals give birth, and that we're like the only mammals that doubt our ability to give birth. And it's like, we're the only ones that think we need help with the birthing process, and how animals will go into, like, you know, their own place. You know, they go away from everyone else. They go in a place where they feel comfortable and safe. And that even sometimes when they're birthing, if a predator comes, they'll suck up the animal. They'll suck up their baby again instead of pushing it out, right? So that's kind of part. It talks about how, like, if you're in a hospital and there's these people that you don't know coming into your space while you're pregnant, that it can almost make you like not want to push or not want to do those things. So yeah, I was that came up with animals too, is noticing how they birth, and they'll go into their own kind of space and go into their own zone and just want to feel safe. And that's like part of it all.
that's it, because again, it comes down to like the human brain is just so complex. We're so smart. And it's funny that you said that exactly like that. I was having a discussion the other day about when I learned to drive stick the first time, and I kicked everybody out of the car, and I was like, look, I'm driving and I'm coming back when I know how to do this, and bye. And I had to go do it by myself. I feel like I'm just less dramatic. I'm more composed when I'm alone, because I just feel like I have to take care of myself. I know I'm by myself. So as much as I do think that humans need community, and I think that that's how we evolve, I compare us a lot to ants sometimes. Is, you know, one person could build a house in a year, but get a whole crew, it's up in 3 months. So I definitely think that our race depends on community and whatnot, but there is a lot of power in going out and just being able to do something by yourself. Not that you can go and like fail a birth by yourself. I feel like that's just a process, but yeah, like I didn't want to kill my car in front of anybody. So I was like, I'm going to drive by myself. Sorry, I need to go learn this.
Yeah.
And I've actually done that with a few things that I was frustrated with. I just had to go and be by myself. And the delivery room, I love my family. I love his family, but I told all of them, nope, like it's me and him, and that's it. And that's what I knew that I needed, especially for how busy that time was. Oh, it was so frustrating. My birth was not fun.
I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard that it doesn't always go how you think it's gonna go. But like at the same time, I also feel like that's why I was so pissed off, is that because we are not educated on it. We are not prepared for it. We're not told these things, and we're not, like I said, like if someone, like, it's so much in your mind, and the media and the TV and everything makes birth look like this crazy thing. So in your mind, your whole pregnancy, you're kind of like in the back of your mind freaking out, instead of keeping that calm, and so I'm like so passionate about it, of like women like really reading books, getting educated. Like I feel like women spend so much time putting thought and planning into their wedding day, but they don't put that same amount into their birthday. Like if you put as that much planning into your birthday as you did as your wedding day, like imagine what your birth would would look like, or could be like, or if you prepared that much enough for yourself. And yeah, I'm just so passionate about
Yeah,
that. But
well, that's a great point, because if you're like me and love, I hate calling him baby daddy, but I think it's so funny sometimes, so that's what he gets called. But his during birth, his dad had called him, and mind you, I'm 3 days late. Like we're past the due date that we all expected. So I feel like everybody should have had their ducks in a row 3 days late. And I'm at a 5. We're about to get my epidural, and his dad had called him, and he really wanted to take his son down to the food court and just give him a little pep talk before he had his son. And it's like, that's a great moment, you guys. I totally support that. I think that's great. I was so stressed out when I thought I was going to have to do my epidural by myself. And I don't think that a lot of people, because again, I didn't plan anything about my birth. So had I told everybody, like I would have, had I been planning a wedding, you tell everybody where to stand. This is your cue. This is where you go. So had I told everybody, like, look, it's really important to me that I'm not stressed out. It's really important to me, like when we're there, you don't leave me. I'm terrified of needles. Like I don't
yeah.
want an IV. I don't want any of it. So the fact that he's leaving for and again, everybody hypes up, what the epidural is, and getting it is painful. There's a lot of risks in getting the epidural. So I knew what I was doing was something that was a little bit more dangerous. And so I did look into it, and I did know exactly what it was going to look like. I knew what the tube was going to look like. And so him leaving, because I've already mentally done this to myself, rather than preparing the entire situation like I would a wedding day, I'm completely stressed out because I know the things that I need, like scientifically, like what could go wrong with my body, what the percentage is, and whatnot. And I'm shaking just like reliving that. And it's,
Oh, I'm sorry. I can feel your energy, girl.
yeah, and in that scenario, I think it's important for viewers, you guys, like you're not going to get this birth moment back. I mean, you can have another birth, but you're always going to remember your first birth, or whatever birth it was that you were stressed out. You're going to remember it that way. So, feel it's important you guys feel my stress a little bit, so you know how, because you don't want that. I have an amazing relationship with my son. Everything's fine. Past is the past. It's all right. But how fun would it have been to look back on that day as like the best day I got to go through something. So.
Mhm. Yeah, and I've just, like I said, it just makes me so mad, because I don't know if you've ever watched The Business of Being Born,
uh
but it just talks about how the medical industry totally changed like midwifery, and made it look like it was like midwives were these witches and these old hags that were dirty and didn't know what they were doing. But we've just, as a culture, accepted this as, oh, we go to the hospital and it's an emergency and it's these things, but we don't look at like birth is so spiritual. Like it's like a spiritual thing, and you want like your provider to be on that spiritual path with you. I feel like. And yeah, I just, that's like really the message that I want to share, is that you do have a choice, and you can go about this in such a different way where it doesn't have to be stressful or scary. Like, but at the same time, I do have 3 birth plans. So I have my home birth plan. I have my plan for if I have to go to the hospital, and then I have a C-section plan. And I, like you said, like how you didn't tell people where to be, like I have it planned where I'm like, Chelsea's taking pictures, Kevin's not allowed to be on his phone. Like I have it like totally like, this is how everybody is, like it's like a wedding, you know. I'm like, this is what you are going to be like, and this is what I need from you. For every person that's in that room, this is what I need from you in that moment. This is what you're like, this is, you're part of my team, this is what I need you to show up and do as that part. And so I have it like super like too
Love it.
planned maybe. But
That's good.
yeah,
I mean, especially, I mean, I know, God, my phone was blowing up while we were in there, and I can't believe, you know, we should have just turned off the phone, but I can't believe all the outside noise that will occur no matter what you do. But I like that you brought that up too, because it is important with these home births. They it kind of goes back to the mindset that you had earlier. You know, you, whatever experience you go through, that's fine. Like, you're going to be fine with it, but you didn't. I love that you didn't try just to be, you know, told what was, you know, the right way to have your birth. Because in all honesty, if somebody came in and told you exactly how to decorate your wedding, you'd probably not like your wedding day. That, you know, it's a very personal
yeah.
thing.
I mean, and it's like your wedding day where it may not go as you plan it, you know, like your wedding day may not go perfectly, like it may be a total mess, but it helps me even just for the pregnancy to visualize it and not be visualizing this, like, because then I'm not feeling that stress. If I have to feel that stress of going to the hospital, I only feel it one time. And it's in that moment. Whereas this whole pregnancy, I've been feeling the vibes of what a water birth feels like, what it feels like. So even if it goes that way, I only feel it one time, as now I'm feeling a beautiful birth for my whole pregnancy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I love that. And again, a lot of what you say is things that I want my viewers to practice all the time, because it is a lot about mindset, and it is a lot about, I referenced in another video, I didn't know it was a country song when I said it, but life is like a river that you're just going. And sometimes we get these awesome spots where we get to sit on this rock and there's just no chaos and everything's a bit quiet. But I think life in general is always a little bit chaotic, and you can
Mm-hmm.
either look at the glass half full or half empty. And that goes for red lights, that goes for dropping your food, that goes for something, plans not working out, like whatever it is. Don't have your mind consume on that negative. Move it towards, like, well, I still got a job, like, yeah, you're late, I hope you have an understanding boss. um, and it's like, that's a whole nother spectrum, because your community and your tribe is very important. So if you're not happy in your career, I suggest you keep looking, because there's plenty of bosses out there. But yeah, like, I love that you're going with the flow, and you acknowledge that the bad isn't that bad, it's just a path. So
Mm-hmm. And I think every birth is perfect. Honestly, I think every birth is, I think that to become a mother, that's part of becoming a mother. Like when it says a mother's born, that strength, because I imagine that your birth story gave you so much strength that maybe you didn't know you had, or maybe it taught you how to deal with situations you weren't quite ready for, or, you know, maybe it was like stressful, but you fucking handled it. Sorry for swearing.
it's the mom
You
show,
know,
not the kid show. We're good.
so I think that every birth is perfect. Like I think that no matter what you went through on your birth, it was probably preparing you in some way for being a mom, because I think some of those things show up in motherhood too. So I think, like I said, I think all of it is like whatever happens in my birth is going to be perfect. But the reason I am preparing for something beautiful is because it is like, it's a huge day for me. It's like my wedding. I'm going to be planning it like that. Like I'm going to be planning it the best, coolest way I can, and then let it go. Whatever happens
Yeah.
is good.
And in fact, so little bit of a dark story I want to share with you. Well, not dark, just a very trial time for this young woman. And she had wrote me, because I was 17 when I got pregnant and had my son at 18. And that's a journey all in itself, very much so. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I had a friend and my son was about 2 and she found out she was pregnant and she just wasn't sure, you know, that she wanted to do this journey of motherhood. And she was particularly worried about the birth. And when I had given birth, I had actually been lucky enough to be with somebody that I knew, and she was having birth, and I was actually 10 weeks pregnant when I watched her give birth. And so I watched her do everything, and I'm watching her go through the epidural, and I'm watching it because she wanted to have a natural delivery, and she got to a 7 and she was like, I tap out. I want the epidural. And so she chose that route. And of course, me just watching everything unfold the way it happens, me watching needles, I'm like, I don't know about this. But everything after the baby was born was just so calm and so loving, and so none of it mattered. And I can truly say that was my experience giving birth. And I'll throw caution to the wind when I say this. Like, obviously, you don't want to just have babies because you want that experience. Like, raising a child is raising a whole nother person. Like, this person will fall in love and get their heart broke and be bullied. Like, there's a bunch of things that go on in the journey of parenthood that go far beyond just this precious moment. But when she had asked me, you know, what was, like, when did you decide like the birth was going to be okay? And I told her that story, and it's like, I know you're scared of this, but as long as you're prepared and knowing that you're raising that person, and that you're raising a whole nother entity of, it's not you, it's them. It's like the birth was easy. It's like I watched all this chaos, and then I just got to watch this mom and her baby just bond. And I knew 10 weeks into my pregnancy, it's like, it'll be okay. Like, right now, my situation was not ideal with my partner, with where I was living, like being, I was homeless at 16. Like, it wasn't a good scenario with where I was, but I like there's just strength in yourself. And I knew that, the calm was going to come after the storm, and I can do the rest. Like, I can get it done. But, anyways, moral of the story was that, yeah, that dark time, she'd asked me, do I keep it? And I said, it's so up to you. You have to acknowledge that this is here, but don't be afraid of this birth. Like, it will come back to what it needs to be. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I love this. I love that. Like, my midwife even was like telling me something like that. She's like, I think it's so sad when women choose not to have a baby because they're scared of the birth. Because she says she has some people who they're just like terrified of the actual birth. And she's like, your body was really built for this. Like, this is a totally like natural thing that your body can do. And it's such a short time compared to like what the actual like payoff is of all of it. So yeah, that makes me it's like I said, I feel so bad. Like, when women say, I don't think I could give birth naturally, I just want to be like, who told you that you can't? I mean, obviously there's like things that do come up, but like, I just want to be like, who told you that you don't have this power? Because women before you for generations have had this power and can do this, so.
And we still do it.
Sad. Yeah. And we're doing it. We always do, every day babies are being born, and in cars and in crazy places and in like weird things. Like, your body knows, like tuning back into that of like, you're so strong. Women are so strong. It's so amazing.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you for talking about all this with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super stoked to see The rest of your story, I'm trying to think of what else I want to ask you because I'll keep you on forever. I talk so much, but
I love talking about pregnancy, so it's okay. It's like my favorite thing. People will try to talk about other things, and I like find a way to bring it back to pregnancy. I'm like, anyways, back to babies and
back to babies. So, your plan is to breastfeed.
yes.
God, and another natural thing that we're built for freaking, or could be forever. Did you know that if you do well with breastfeeding, you could go up like breastfeeding for like 5 years? Women are incredible.
Yeah, actually, my midwife was telling me that the average age of breastfeeding around the world is 4. And that means that in some countries, since America is like mostly like 6 months about, that they breastfeed till they're 6.
Wow.
So that's crazy to me. I mean, in some third world countries, that may be the only thing that moms have to give their babies, but yeah, you can breastfeed for a long time as long
Yeah.
as you're
Yeah.
going. I don't think I'm going to do until 3 or 6, I think a year at the most, and probably add solid foods a little sooner than that too, and just kind of do both. That is my visualization.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Again, yeah, viewers, if you're, I mean, I know a mom who, she didn't want to breastfeed. She just decided that wasn't for her. And then I know other moms that couldn't breastfeed. So, I mean, there's ways to keep and sustain happy, healthy babies. So, but
Absolutely.
obviously, if you can, that's a big, I know it says it helps your muscles contract. Trying to think of, I'm a little uneducated. It's been so long. I tried to look up a bunch of information before our interview too. And I actually have another guest that I need to bring on the show. She does placenta encapsulants.
Oh, cool. Yes.
So that would
It
be
needs to be
really,
talked about more.
yeah. Oh, for sure. And it's so crazy, the reviews of women who have gone through pregnancies without placental, like without the placenta, and then like eating it after their other birth, and it's a completely different change for them. So
Mm-hmm.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Trying to think of what else I can ask you. I was like,
No, you're
I
good.
can't ask about the name. Hmm. Being pregnant. He kicks a lot. How's your heartburn?
How is he what?
How's your heartburn?
Oh, I don't have heartburn too bad. I'm feeling really good right now. Just like the thing about being pregnant is I feel so powerful, but then also so tired. It's like such an interesting thing. It's like I'm here like on this one level, I'm like co-creating with the universe and I'm like building a life and I'm like, I am Wonder Woman, but then like one flight of stairs and I'm like,
I'm kind of.
yeah, I'm like, oh, this is rough. This is intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like the strongest, but like also the most like kind of fragile that I've ever felt, which is like it's like such an interesting thing, but it's definitely like very feminine, it's like soft, it's nurturing, it's all of this, but it's like raw power at the same time. It's such a cool embodiment of like the full feminine, it's been awesome. I loved that part,
Yeah.
but not a lot of heartburn. I was really sick. It was actually interesting because I was super sick at the first, and I was not planning this pregnancy. I was actually on my way to Bali to go. I had just booked a yoga retreat to go get my yoga certification, and then I was going to move to Hawaii, and I had everything down and paid for. And so when I found out I was pregnant, I was just like, it was such a weird moment for me because I've always wanted a baby. I knew I was ready for a baby, but it was not the way that I'd pictured it, like at all. Like probably like you, it
Oh
was
yeah.
kind of like an interesting thing going on. And so there was a moment that I was so sick. I thought it was coronavirus,
Oh my
even
God.
though the symptoms are they're totally different, right? But I was like, maybe this is just the coronavirus, like that's what's happening. And there was a moment that I woke up one day and I was like, this is not the coronavirus. Like, I'm pregnant. And I felt like I was surrounded by love. And I like made this deal in that moment with God where I was like, I'll have this baby, but you better guide me and like help me every step of the way and like show me how to do it and teach me and give me the right books. And like, you better basically hold my hand. And I had that prayer. And since I had that prayer, I have been led every step of the way. And so I was really sick at the first, but even in that moment, I also just made the decision, I was like, I can look at this as this is a victim thing for me. Like, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant and this is going to ruin my life. And I think I maybe even said that to my baby's dad when I called him. I was like, my life is over.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, like, I've got you. Like, no matter what, like what our relationship is like, I've got you and I've got this baby and everything's going to be okay. And he even sounded excited. And I was like, but after I hung up the phone, I just sat there in that moment and I made that decision. And I was like, I can decide for this to be a horrible, woe is me experience, or I can make this the most magical experience of my life. And I chose in that moment what my pregnancy would be like and what my mindset would be like. And since that moment, it's been like the best,
I love
most
that.
magical thing. So it was really, like I said, it all comes to your thought processes and your mind. And I still moved to Hawaii after that. And the minute I got off the plane in Hawaii, I had no more morning sickness. I was not sick again for my whole pregnancy. And I just, I mean, it's a lot of what I was putting in my body and like the diet I was on and things I was doing, but a lot of it I just feel like is so right here. It's whatever you want. And it's like you said, again, with not just pregnancy, but anything in life, it's all right here. What are you going to decide to do with what you're given in that moment? So
100%. I told my friend the commonality between everybody that I've interviewed here, one, the majority of you guys are all happy and you've got goals and you have some sort of routine. And that really involves mindset, whether that's like, and of course, when I say routine, I think morning routine, night routine. But there is a routine that you put in your head. I had to start this when networking. I hate public speaking, which is hilarious that I'm on a show now. This is not something, I don't know if you've heard my story on any of the other episodes, but we started as an event company. And the first year of our business, I was not the face of the company. I didn't have to be. We were a team. We had other people helping out and that was great. But then when the pandemic came crashing down and, we go from 20 team members to literally like 7 of us, there's not everybody to take the reins and be the face of it. So, I didn't want to be a show. But it's all about mindset because my mind has never felt more at peace. And I was always the person that people would reach out to, about mental health or, I had one friend reach out to me. She was like, I need to check myself in the hospital. Like I'm a mom. I don't want to hurt myself. I'm embarrassed. Like, especially as a mom, it's so embarrassing to say that you need mental help. And you're definitely going to feel this too, as your son comes, you're still a person and he's but you're also a mom. You're like almost 2 different people, but yet the same. And it's, there's things that you have to take care of for yourself too. And in new mamas, just so you guys know, and I know we all know this, but your kids are just they need you at this point. Like we really need to envision the mindset of like baby giraffe or, baby monkey or something. Like they need you like that. Humans aren't as developed as actual animals are. In fact, I don't know which country it is. I believe it's Japan, but the children are on the mom's hip 24/7 until they're 6 years old. And they are always, and that's just the expectation for that parent. Like that's just what you do after you have kids is they are always stuck to you, whether you're cooking, cleaning, like whatever you're doing, they're observing you all the time. And the mom sacrifices the first 6 years of her life. And then when they are 6, they go out. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. They go out and they go on their first errand by themselves. And they wear this like necklace badge thing, and they go out into the community, and they go, and their parents are like, okay, you're going to go out on your first trip. And everybody in the community knows when the 6-year-old is going on their first trip by themselves. They wear this big like badge to show that they are doing that. So everyone knows not to mess with them, that they're on a mission, that this is like their like
Oh,
sea turtle to the ocean moment, that we're like the baby birds leaving the nest type of thing. And it's so crazy because obviously like their community is sustainable. Like it works. There's things over there that America doesn't do at all. And so I think if we could remember, I mean, I'm not saying send your kids to the store alone at 6 in America. I don't feel like we are a safe enough country for something like that. But it really goes to show like how much our children just naturally need us at the beginning. And like we said earlier, there's that balance. Like a mother is born, you know, you were by, well, not by yourself, but you were just taking care of you. And now you're taking care of another human. And that mindset switch that, yeah, just to be available for them, but then to also take care of yourself. Sorry, I don't even know where I was going with this tangent, but it went somewhere.
no.
There's just a lot that
No, I
goes.
think it's so important to, I think that one of the main things of being a mom is learning that you are you, but that is an aspect of yourself now that you are a mom. Like it is a part of yourself. Like I was talking to my midwife the other day about this actually exact same thing, is that, you know, I think some moms just like kind of get into it that this is all I am now. Like this is who I am. This is all I can be now is like a mom. But it is so important because to your child, you are the world. Like that is their whole existence is right here. You know, like you are their whole world. And so it is hard to find the balance of, you know, who am I? And then who am I as a mom? And trying to like figure both of those out, I think is going to be like the struggle. But my midwife just said, you know, you just want to think of it as you're not losing any part of yourself. You're gaining this whole other level of yourself that you didn't know existed before. And she said, being a mom has made me a better midwife. It's made me a better partner. It's made me a better this. It's just you're gaining a part of yourself instead of it's you don't want to feel like you're losing all of who you used to be. You're just gaining this new person.
Yeah, completely. And yeah, you have to, because you know, when we look back on our memories of our parents, all I can think of back then is I could ride my bike and my mom would make me toast, and I know that I have a house and I'm taken care of. And for the most part, my mom still did do little things for herself here and there. So moms, you're always going to kind of have that mom guilt, but it's so important that you're balanced. And I don't mean like clubbing every weekend. Like I don't mean like you know, it's your kids can count on you gone this specific time, but I mean, I don't know, some people's journeys look different. And now in America it's really hard because working moms is a serious thing. Like we are expected to get back to work ASAP, I feel. I know I had a job one time, and they told me because I hadn't been there a year yet that I wouldn't be even qualified for maternity leave. So it's,
Ugh.
yeah. And it's so hard because, you know, again, I believe that we're all kind of like little worker ants. It's like, how do you expect our community to grow if I'm not making your babies? So
Yeah.
there's a lot that goes into, especially having kids in America. Um, but you guys, you just gotta find your balance. You're not a bad mom for doing you, and you're not selfish for coming up with a birth plan that you need. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's a lot of taboo issues that go into that. So I just feel like the mom guilt is real. It's like, oh, you're not letting your mom in the room when you're giving birth. It's like, you don't know what I need during birth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Like I said, everyone is on their own journey. Like some people have scheduled C-sections because they need that. They need to know that that's that, and that's perfect too. Like I don't want anyone to feel like, oh, it's like this. My biggest thing is know you have the option, because that's my biggest thing, is know you have choices, and know that not just in, birth, but in motherhood, you have options and choices and things. And just, yeah, I just feel like it's funny because until I got pregnant, I didn't think about this stuff at all, It's
Right.
just like, whatever, yeah, I'm going to go to the hospital and have the baby and da 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 da. But then once I got pregnant and it was actually me, and the more research I've done, I'm just like, man, this needs to be talked about more. People need to be more like educated on it, and that they do have options, and your birth can look like, maybe it's not going to go the way you plan, but it can be that way. I've seen so many beautiful water births and just home births, and it is an option, like that is an option for you. So that's like my biggest.
One influencer I follow, she had her water birth. I believe this was her fifth baby. Yeah, her fifth baby. And she had her water birth, but then the placenta was stuck and she had to go to the hospital. And again, I love that, especially that you clarified to the review, because like, of course, we don't want everyone thinking like, oh, this way is this way, but you're not saying that. You're saying be smart, come up with multiple plans so you don't have to stress. Like, what would you do at a wedding if the wedding photographer didn't show up? You'd like have a plan B that someone else is gonna kind of do something. I mean, granted, that's a little different, but my doctor didn't show up during my birth. I got stuck with a doctor I didn't like at all. So yeah, sometimes you just have to roll with those punches. And that influencer that I'm talking about, I know for sure. And you can tell in the recording, like she was super stressed out. She didn't want to go to the hospital. I don't want to assume, but it felt like watching the video that she didn't have a plan, like in a bag prepared just in case she had to go to the hospital. It sounded very thrown. And luckily her tribe is amazing and got it all figured out. But I love that you're just spreading the news to be healthy about it and educated about it and not naive about anything. Like if you, and some women, if you guys are on multiple births, some women have to have C-sections for certain things. And that's like, cool story, bro. But like, this is what everybody has the right to plan their stuff. And yeah, I really wish that it isn't something that's just kind of thrown about because, me talking my experience with your experience, I wish that I had a more memorable experience. But when I think back to that time, I'm just thinking 18 and pregnant and having babies and,
Girl, if I was 18, I would be, like I said, like it is even like a couple years ago, I would not be planning the birth that I'm planning now. I have been on a super spiritual journey. It's been a lot of inward work. It's been years of my own, like I said, I do Reiki. I'm an energy healer. It's been years of me connecting with this spirituality to get to where I am now. If this had happened a couple years ago, I wouldn't be, it would not be looking like this for me right now. I'm in a place, like I'm 32. So I'm like, I've had a lot of life experience, which has also led up to this of like, what I want this moment to be like. But I think, yeah, if I was 18 or if I had been younger or, not even have had the experiences I've had, I probably don't think I would be planning a birth like this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, everyone is perfect. Like I said, it's always so perfect. And it probably was setting you up for, the challenges that probably came for being a mom too. It was all giving you what you need in the moment.
Yeah. And I think that's great in everybody's stories, because the influencer I just referenced, she also was a teen mom starting out. And so just watching, like, you're going to develop as a person, a mom is now being born. It's a really great experience. And to me, in my scenario, I didn't grow up with the healthiest family condition. And so I feel like, this sounds bad, but should be talked about. I feel like I was a little naive to have my son the way I did. I looked at the situation. His dad was excited, but we weren't prepared to give a child a life. We weren't prepared, and I say that not because no one's like fully prepared, but I wasn't even able to take care of myself. I'm 17. I can't even get a full-time job, like legally, I'm not able to. So of course there's lots of things that go into that, but it did, my entire, because I was so abused, I thought I was so stupid. I thought I was, I just, yeah, I didn't grow up healthy. And so when I was pregnant, I remember saying, okay, you are not going to do this without like getting some of your stuff ready. And when you're 17, like, okay, I need a license. I need my GED. I need, and at the time it was kind of funny. Sorry, we're going to talk about my story. Just, yeah, so annoying to go on my tangents. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. I love it. I love hearing other stories.
I hate share it because like I want to put the disclaimer that I love my family. Like I help my family constantly. Like and it's like an on and off like weird support thing that happens with them, but it's always crazy. So I hate sharing some of my stories because it doesn't make particularly my parents look too good. So at the time, yeah, I'm living with someone that I've never lived with like my whole life. I'm living with a relative that found me while I was homeless. It was a really weird situation. And I just thought I was stupid and I become pregnant. And at the time I'm in an abusive relationship. It's much better now. Things are great. Everybody develops as a person. But at the time I can't lie. He was not a good person for me during my pregnancy. And I remember something specifically that he said to me, even after I had got my GED. And that just kind of was the fuel to my fire. Like, oh, you think I can't do this? Like, I'm for sure going to do this. And knowing that my baby was counting on me, I had never felt this kind of empowerment before. And I'll be honest with you, I was very suicidal. I was very, when you're 17 and you feel like your parents don't love you, or you feel like they don't think you're smart, or that you're disposable, like it really, I think, almost messes with the way your brain is like wired to think. I don't believe humans are supposed to be alone. I think the worst thing, you can be in jail with murderers and rapists and all these terrible people, and the worst thing they can do to you is put you in isolation. I don't believe that being alone is healthy. And at the time, I even remember taking a walk. I was so overwhelmed. Like my baby daddy had came over and gotten into a fight with this relative, and they were fighting about me and what was going to happen and everything. And in the middle of fighting, I just walked out and just started walking. And I remember looking at my shirt. It was red and gray striped, and I thought it kind of looked like Waldo. And I remember looking at my belly, and there's no belly, but I knew, he's there. And I was like, I'm gonna take care of us. Like, I've got you. I'm gonna figure this out. And when that had happened, so because to me, graduating was such a huge thing, and because I had been homeless for almost a year, by the time my relative had found me, I really wanted to go to public school, and my family was not for me going to school unless I lived with them, but I had been kicked out. So I had been signed out of high school. There's like, I can't get into school. So then when I finally am 17, I go to the school district myself. I finally get enough courage to do this. And we're like, hey, I will redo, this time I was in 11th grade. So I was supposed to be going into my last year of high school. And it was a dream of mine to walk across the stage. I was going to cry. Like, this was just my Disneyland thing, because again, everyone had kind of told me that I was dumb my whole life. And so I really wanted to graduate, and I went to the school and I was like, hey, I will be held back a year. I don't care. Like, just, I'll go back and I'll do everything, because it was easier than just like being alone and doing packets. And I wanted the school experience, and I wanted to graduate. And so, went in, did that, and then I found out I was pregnant. And I go back to the school district and I'm like, okay, I'm pregnant and I don't have time to do high school for a full year. Like, everything that I had planned was just shifted. And looking back at the situation now, like, yes, I was naive. There's a bunch of things that I would have loved my son to experience, especially at 2, 3, 5. Like, you know, when you have a kid as a teenager, and you don't have a lot of family support, at least in my scenario, I don't have a ton of money. We're not living luxuriously. You know, I remember at one point where his crib is in a living room and I'm on the couch. Like, we did what we had to do at the time. And yeah, anyway, I got my GED test. I didn't even study for it. I went in and I took the test and I passed. And it was,
Oh,
yeah, 4 months pregnant, and I got my GED, and then I got my license. I remember having to pay for the schools and everything. And I remember, you know, you have to do like the 6 hours of observed time and like 6 hours of like actual driving time. And the most horrendous moment is when the instructor starts talking about teen pregnancy, and it's literally the last 2 hours that I have to sit in the car with somebody, and he's talking about teen pregnancy, because the kid in the back had just, like, some relative of his, it's probably his sister or something, like, found out that they were having a baby, so they were like talking crap on the situation, and I'm just like, zip my jacket up. Like, I wasn't showing enough. Like, I was showing that if I took my jacket off, like, you could tell, but if I had my jacket on, you couldn't tell. So I just, yeah, guys, like, and that was really, had it not been for motherhood, um, I was at a really low point. And again, my relationship wasn't healthy. I didn't have anybody I felt that was like really like pushing me to get forward. All my friends were annoyed with me for staying in my relationship, and now I'm pregnant by him. Like, it was just a very heavy situation. And my son's incredible. Like, I'm so blessed. Like, everything set me up the way that it needed to happen. Like, he has had way more opportunities in life. He is, I mean, granted, he has 2 homes, but he reaps the benefits of it. He jokes about, you know, the 2 birthdays and the 2 Christmases, and he loves going over to his dad's. In fact, our co-parenting situation is so great, that his brother from their house, who's now in kindergarten, we're actually selling my son's bed and getting a bunk bed because he stays over here so much. And so it's almost like we have 2 kids that just like we co-parent now, even though his brother's not my son at all. You know, he has a really good life, and
good.
it all worked out, and like you said, prepared us for what needed to happen, because realistically, you know, my ex-partner, he met his wife 4 months after everything, and I was a single mom for a long time, and dated other people that weren't that great for me, and just it was a long journey, but motherhood always kept me grounded, better. I'm a better person for every aspect that my son exists. So yeah,
Oh,
that's
I
my story.
love that. Yeah, I feel that. I feel like even just seeing the test is like makes you like, man, I'm stepping up in ways that I have always wanted to, but never would do for myself. So I love that. I love that story. That's so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of mama bear vibes come to mind. Is that I like a lot, even growing up, you know, me and my siblings would get into fights, and I would never defend myself. I was very, I'd get frustrated. I'd just cry and leave, and just, I don't know. I wasn't around my siblings. Like, I was just not like very confrontational. I was very runaway type. And so, yeah, it really gave me a lot more strength to just be like, excuse me, let's fix these scenarios. And I realized like how much, and even now it's a little, I don't want to say traumatizing, but it is hard to think back, because again, we were kids. So when I'm raising my son now, I'm like, oh, what was I doing at 12 or 11? Because I'm trying to relate to him and remember where my mind was. And in 12, or like, I wasn't going through normal things that 12 and 11-year-olds should go through at the time. So it really grounds you to the answers are in our history. Like our parents aren't fully developed with all the answers. A lot of like 10, 15 years ago, talking about mental health or being on antidepressants was like a huge no-no. We've just developed so much in life, and I think like we have to thank moms for that 100%. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
No, I love all of that. It's like really interesting too, like being a mom, that I'm like, man, I know nothing. Like, no wonder, like, like just seeing my mom now, and I'm like, oh, like this is what you were probably feeling too. Like, when we're little, we look up to our parents, like they've got all the answers, they are that thing, or we maybe even judge what they did, and we're like, oh, you didn't give me enough attention, or you didn't do this, or you didn't this. But like now being a mom myself, like stepping into this, I'm like, they were probably scared shitless. They were probably like confused on what they were doing and trying to figure out the balance between all of it too. And yeah, it's made me see my mom, like we are so much closer now to that I'm like in this. But it is interesting to see our parents, and then also being like, okay, what am I going to take from that? And how can I, like, what am I going to change, or what am I going to keep, or what am I going to, use, and how can I be different, or how can I be better, or like do better? It's such a trip.
Yeah. Well, I mean, oh man, we're already 20 minutes over. See what I do every time.
You're
It
fine.
sounds like you're doing everything exactly how you're supposed to be doing it. And yeah, I love that you also admitted, you wouldn't have this mindset at 18. I definitely like the answers are in our history. Like we become better people because we have these experiences. Like who I was
Right.
at 18, 19 is nowhere close to who I am now.
But also perfect that, like you said, like you had your son when you did, because who would you be now without your son? Like where would you be if it hadn't come into your life? So it's like everything is like so, it's just insane to me how perfect life is, like no matter what your journey ends up being, it's all so perfect for you and your son and everyone, it's just it just blows my mind. But yeah, like I said, if I had a baby in high school, like it would be much different. My whole life would be a different journey.
Yeah.
So it's always right. It's always perfect for everyone, I think.
Yeah. True. Awesome. Well, sorry I'm so awkward today. I am
You're
just
not awkward at all. You're so good. I loved
okay,
hearing
good.
your story. I
Well,
didn't think you were awkward at all.
I don't like talking about me because again, like I want to highlight you and other people. So whenever I bring up me, I'm like, was that too much? But
No, it's so perfect. It's so good because it's you, like I said, like it's relatable, like people are going to be able to relate with you, and then maybe some people will be able to relate with me. And it is important to know that like our journeys, I think, were like very different, but both perfect for how they were. So I think that is the main thing, is no matter what your journey looks like, it is perfect for you. It is absolutely perfect. So if your birth goes like a beautiful water birth, or if you had a hospital birth, or it ended up being traumatic, all of it is perfect for you, and what is setting you up for motherhood and for life.
yeah,
So I think it's so important that you shared your story. Thank you
yeah.
for sharing that.
Thanks for hearing it. Yeah,
Yeah.
pregnancy. It's been a while since I've had to think about that stuff, and I mean I remember the first time he kicked. Like I have those cute little memories and whatnot. But yeah, my life is so much more beautiful now, and he's my little best friend. I mean, the other day we were getting online to play a game, and he's like, "Can I tell them you're my sister and not my mom?" Thanks, dude. Like, all right. So it's fun. I wouldn't have it any other way. And to be fair, I don't know any other way. I'm so glad that I don't. I'm glad that it is what it is. So
It's perfect. It's good.
well, I
It's
really
ev-
wanted to start to ask, sorry.
no,
Continue.
go ahead.
I wanted to ask, so I stopped doing this for a while, but I need to do it more because I think it speaks volume to who we're interviewing. Do you have a favorite quote that you can share with us today?
A favorite quote. Oh, I like that. Let's see. I've got to think about it for a second.
Sorry to throw that one out there.
No, it's okay. I mean, I guess honestly, my favorite quote right now, especially dealing with the pregnancy, is a lot like what you said, the mother is born. I saw this quote that was like, and I might cry. um, it was just saying like, everyone told me in 9 months that I would meet somebody new, and I thought it was going to be my baby, but it was actually me. And
I love that. You're gonna make me cry.
it's just like the journey has just been so life changing and just so beautiful, and it is me. Like I'm meeting a new me.
Yeah.
So
You're
sorry.
so beautiful. No, you're perfect. And it's so true. Cause again, I don't even, I mean, granted, it was a long time ago, but I don't know who I would be or really what I was before him. And I think a lot of moms can feel that way too. So I love that because you are meeting like two different, the real you and your baby. That's so beautiful.
Mhm. Yeah, I loved that quote, and it's just like the sum up of everything. Like I am meeting, yeah, it's just the person I'm becoming. Like I know that we're here and we have kids and we think that we're there for them all the time, but he's changed me. Like he's
Mhm. I love it. And it's so incredible. So when we think about our life journeys, because as being a mom, and I don't know if you have plans, like everybody's plans change all the time, but if I only have one child. And so I know that here in 10 years, he's going to be 21. Like there's times where I will be doing something and I kind of have dinner plans or something planned. And he'll come up and he's like, can I go sleep at my friend's house? And he's got his bike. He wants to just pack up his stuff and he just wants to go. And, motherhood 11 years from when I had birth is completely different from, 11 years ago when I was breastfeeding and all he did was rely on me. So it really like goes to show what you develop into is just amazing because again it changes slightly because your child's needs change, but you as a mother, like i I gave a really good example. When my son's at his dad's house, like I can't just go get into a car accident. That affects him. Like I can't just go get arrested.
yeah.
That affects him. Like even though he's not with me 100% of the time, and it doesn't matter if your kids are 21 or if they're 30. Like I mean, let's not look at politicians because we won't get into that, but like let's look at other celebrities that have things that happen. Those things definitely affect, well, I guess our entire development. But hang on, now I'm like thinking about scandals that we shouldn't do because we have children. But I mean, in a whole, like you just completely change as a person and in such a good positive way. And now your priorities have just shifted, but again you still have to take that you time. And anyways, now I'm getting on more tangents, but
No, you're good. I totally, yeah, I'm like totally feeling all of that. Like I said, I love talking about pregnancy. I'm just gonna plug my laptop in
oh, you're fine.
really quick. One sec, because it's gonna die and I don't want it to die. I'll do this. Okay,
Are
there we
those
go.
pumpkin lights or are those just like lantern lights?
Oh, they're little lanterns.
Okay, I thought it was like way to be on your
They're
October.
so festive. No, I'm not.
I put my porcelain pumpkin out like a month ago. Like I was so sick of pandemic. It was in August that I was trying to convince my partner, can I put this out here like just slightly? And he's like, are you kidding me? But
You're like, I just want to ease into it.
yeah, I just want to do something.
Uh,
I'm anxiously actually no, I'm not waiting for Christmas. Thanksgiving's coming up. I'm way more excited about that.
I love Thanksgiving. I'm just excited that the baby will be here then. I keep on thinking, I'm like, man, it's gonna like the baby will definitely be here for Thanksgiving and like Christmas. So that's like I'm like more excited this year than I think ever.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's gonna be so fun. Like I'm thinking back to again when my son was that little, and I have the funnest videos of him. There's one video of him reading a Snickers bar, and he goes an S, an N, I, and a C, K. He like spells out the whole thing, and at the end he goes, "That
Oh,
spells chocolate."
oh, that's so cute.
It was so cute because of course he just knows Snickers is chocolate, but
Yeah,
he only knew his letters at the time. He doesn't know how to read. So
that's
um,
so funny.
that was so cute. But yeah, you're gonna have so much fun, and I guess I should let you. I'll wrap this up. Okay, you're going to have so much fun. I'm so excited for you. Um, if you'll let us, I mean, I plan on doing this the rest of my life. That was one of my tangents I was going on earlier, is like how I started this. Um, I feel so at peace, like providing information that again people need to hear about. And I don't plan on stopping. I plan on letting this grow to where it needs to grow. So I would love to host you again when baby's here and just see how you're doing.
Yes. And talk about the birth, how it actually went.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that would be so fun. In fact, if that's okay with you, I'll have my assistant write you, and we'll at least just get it scheduled for like 4 months or so. But
Yeah, I would love to. I'm super excited to share my story, especially if it's positive,
yeah.
because I just feel like I am gonna like video all of it and like hopefully it's like the most beautiful thing because I do want women to know that it's possible. But I will also tell you guys if it didn't go the way that I thought it was gonna go, and that hopefully that it was all still perfect and
Yeah.
all right in the moment. So
Yeah.
yeah, I would love to share how it actually goes.
Awesome. Awesome. Is there I guess sorry, I keep trying to. It's like I'm gonna get you out of here, but then I
No, you're
want to
good.
ask you something. I'll grab some links from you because I know I really wanted to ask you about your night routine or your. Do you have a morning
Oh,
routine too, or just a night routine?
yeah. So I do have a morning routine. So every morning I wake up, and before I check my phone or anything, I always, well, first of all, I always wake up and say hi to the baby. That's like my first thing. And then I wake up and I write my intentions for the day, and I check my planner, and then I write down a prayer for the day. So it's not really so much to do with baby, but I write down like what are my intentions, and my intentions are things like today I am happy and positive. Today I'm eating nourishing foods. Today and I use all the Reiki principles too, like I'm kind and grateful. I'm, I write all those down
Yeah.
just to get my mindset in a good place for the day before I even check in with the world.
Good answer.
And then I get up and I have my dates. I put them in a smoothie, and then I take my supplements that I need to take for my pregnancy and some raspberry leaf tea. And then at night, I love my night routine. My night routine is my routine with my baby. So I will take like a Epsom salt bath that is warm, not hot, and I will sing to my baby every night. I like sing songs. I used to sing like girly songs, and now I sing like "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" because I've heard that. So when the baby comes out, he knows your voice, right? And I've heard that women who sing the same song over and over, that the baby will actually calm down when they hear that song because it's something that they know. So when they're first out into the world, that they're like, this is a scary place, that there's something that can kind of anchor them, and that they know, oh, this is my mom, this is our song, this is our special thing. So I sing to him. And then his dad actually recorded some like Dr. Seuss books. So I'll play his dad's voice. So he knows his dad's voice too. And that's like really special. And then I get out and I do my yoga. I stretch and do all the stretches that I need to do for labor, for birth. And I also just like really connect in with my baby. And then I give my baby Reiki every night.
I love
So I do that. And then at the very end, right before bed, I write down everything I'm grateful for. I write down anything that was a win that day. If I had a daily win or something good that happened, I write down the good things that happened that day. Or I also write in my little baby's book about, this is what I felt today, or this happened for us today, or whatever. And I'll kind of write that down, and I'll write down that I'm excited to meet him, and yeah, and then I just tell him good night, and that's it.
I
That's
love
my
that.
routine. But it's been so special for me because I feel like it's our moments together. It's like I take at least an hour to just focus on him and spend time on him and make sure he's happy and knows that I love him and that he's welcome into my life. So
I love
yeah,
it.
it's really
And
good.
you guys, again, like I said earlier, um, there has not been a guest on this show that I can think of that hasn't said, "Hey, I'm successful because I have a morning routine," or "I'm happy because I have a morning routine," or "I'm calm because I have, well, a routine." And when your baby comes, so something that I did with my son, I always had him in outfits during the day, so he knew what PJs felt like at night, and then he knew that that was like bedtime. And then there was just like one certain scent, because scent memory is huge. So I had the
Mm-hmm.
nighttime lotion for nighttime, and like a completely different, like bland lotion, like for earlier or anything, but it was always the same. Like if it was a bath, it was with that scent. If the lotion was that scent. um I didn't have like doTERRA oils and things back then, but now you guys can definitely do things like that too. But
That
yeah.
is such a good idea. So that's kind of why I'm starting my routine now, is because eventually I want to sleep train, and those are such good things to add in, like the scent. So I'm glad you said that because I didn't actually think of that. I have like I am going to use the song at night when it's like time to wind down, and I am going to like have my rituals, but I think it's so important to, yeah, like even just in everyday life to have a routine, just something that really grounds you into, especially the morning routine where I'm like, okay, today I'm going to show up positive, and just grounding into that every day. And then, yeah, at night, I love that though with the essential oils. But I think that everyone can benefit from a routine.
Yeah.
Just getting that you time in and like having your moment every day to check in with yourself and your energy and how am I showing up in life, instead of just like jumping on social media and letting the day take you.
Oh my gosh, that's the way. And I've been that person too, where and I'm not happy when the first thing I do is check social media. One of my favorite influencers, Simon Sinek, he's like, I'm not here to judge everybody, but what's an addiction? That if it's the first thing you get up and you do in the morning, you might be a little too addicted to your cell phone. So it's nice to have that disconnect because I don't know if you've seen the social dilemma documentary going on, but it gave a great point that we were not evolved enough to even think about what 10,000 people think about us. Like there's just so much going on, and the suicide rate is just climbing. Um, and we all worry about cancer, but suicide is the biggest lead a cause for humans to take themselves out. And I think it's just because we're so developed and we're so smart. And like you said, we're not really trusting those natural things anymore. We're believing what people think about us. We are comparing ourselves to Snapchat filters and just very unhealthy things that we have to fight, all the time. And moms in particular, after you have your baby, there's just that time where um, some people get really lucky and they're like, my baby sleeps through the night. But for the most part, I feel like the first like couple months, you're just trying to establish a routine, and it's all about just being there. You nap when the baby naps, you feed when the baby feeds, like you're just completely in sync, and nothing really has a schedule other than what the baby's body's telling it to do naturally, like cry when I need something or whatnot. So I just think that, yeah, as the world develops, you guys just remember that you need that routine, and for your kids. My son, I actually wake him up before school and I'm like, hey, do you want to watch a YouTube channel or do you want to play like 10 minutes of video games? Something that he can do for himself before he gives himself to the entire world. Because he does not like, he doesn't like being told what to do, and then he has to go to public school for 6 hours, and no one likes getting bossed around. It's such a weird age. So I've now gotten him in the habit of time blocking, so he realizes how much time he has for video games and how much. And then the other day he came up and he's like, mom, can I time block? Like he just wanted to get his mental like right and do his chore and do everything that he was supposed to do. But yeah, if we don't take control of those situations, you guys, your brain is too smart. It just goes, and and let's be, you're not your thoughts. You have too many thoughts to just be your thoughts. So let them come, let them go, and set what your routine is for you, because that's what you are. And you are what you practice all the time. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that.
okay, I will. I'm 35 minutes over. I
You're
adore you so
fine.
much.
I adore you too. Thank you. It's just been fun talking. And like, I feel like we're friends and we're just like
Oh
chatting.
yeah.
I'm like, oh, I guess it's getting recorded. Okay.
I don't know if I even told you earlier, like when we started I just started recording. So yeah, it's so good to meet you. This is how I met a lot of, and it's really weird because of it, like I want to host things in person. I don't know what state you're in right now, but I really want to start hosting things in person, or I'm sick of Zoom. So eventually one day, you know, we'll have our setup and whatnot, but it is fun to meet people this way. And yeah, thanks for being here. It's been so fun learning about you. And because yeah, all I ever saw before was your face painting. And my son and I, there was actually one that you did with like a galaxy, and me and him tried to copy it. Like it was so fun to do. And like we don't have the proper face painting. I don't even want to tell you what we used. So but it was really just an opportunity for me and him. And I can tell you right now, like that kid, you give him a drawing book, he will draw all the time. Like he doesn't care if his games are taken away. He doesn't care about is he has his sketch pad, like he's set. He's the most artistic thing. So thank you for being that sort of influence, because I don't even know if you knew that you created a whole night for us that time.
I
So
didn't know. I actually, it's so funny because I actually thought about doing that for kids, like a little face paint thing for kids. So maybe I will do that in the future with some face paint you can buy. Now that I have my own kid, I'm gonna be like looking for all the fun kid activities. So I would love to do that. That would be so fun.
well, I will be your
Thank
first
you.
subscriber, so let me know. Yeah.
I will. I will. Thank you
Well,
so much. Oh yeah, it's been so good listening to your story. I love hearing other moms' stories, and like just it's just so empowering that you did it on your own. Like that you were that young and you had a kid and you made it work and you turned into this boss babe. So I'm just so like it's just so empowering for me to hear those things, because I sometimes am like, can I be a mom and have my own business and do this mostly by myself and like be doing it. And so when I hear these stories, I'm like, yeah, I can.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it
definitely.
totally. And one of the best things, again, this sounds dark, but we're very fortunate to be in the United States. Like I know we have a lot going on, but I guess let me not say the United States. We are very fortunate to be in a developed country, because a lot of
Mhm.
girls born in these situations, they don't have government assistance. They don't have resources that can help you out with much. So I'll be honest, I mean, 'cause, yeah, it's a very lonely journey, but I owe a lot to having the opportunities where we are. So it's that was well needed. And I'll baby daddy, love baby daddy. If it wasn't for him, I don't know what I would have done. I had his mom. I had, he's always been a great dad. And for anyone listening, yeah, you guys, you can have a very healthy. My son and I was a single mom when he was 3 months old. And then we got back together when he was about 7 months old. And then we split up again right after he turned one. That was like, okay, we tried it again. We know it doesn't work. Let's not be idiots. And we split up, and it was the best decision for him. Like you can, and again, obviously, like speaking, like I bring his brother to my house. Like things work out in beautiful ways. And his brother calls me his another mom. And it's so fun. It's a good experience. So yeah, everyone's story, you guys, you're perfect, you're beautiful. Find your tribe, find your resources. Don't stop like where you're at. Just be curious and keep expanding and get your routine. Do that.
Do the routine.
Get a routine. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here with me, Tilly. I'll let you go. And you guys will include
Yeah,
all of her
absolutely, Jess.
stuff. Um, sorry to interrupt you.
No, I was just saying, yeah, I'm excited. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. We'll include all of your stuff below. So you have the YouTube channel. Um, you have this really cool deck. If you can send me the link to that, I seen on your story, your pregnancy. What is that really fast?
Yeah, so it's a pregnancy affirmation deck, and it has So it has like just this beautiful artwork, and I've just been putting it around my house. So it's like, this one says, "My baby and I are one. We work together as a team. Asking for help feels good and always like, and helps me to get some rest.
Such a good advice.
So gratefulness takes me deeper into relaxation."
Mm.
So it's just like a really pretty art, and I keep it all over my house. This one says, "My vagina can stretch like a yogi and perform like a rock star."
I love that.
So this is like such an awesome pregnancy deck. One of my really good friends gave this to me, and I'm gonna hang it like with little fairy lights around my birth tub.
Love it.
But I keep it around my house. Like I have them all over my mirror. I have them in my kitchen. I have them in my bathrooms. I have them, on my desk. I have like a little affirmation everywhere, and it's so interesting because I'll just see them and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna birth like a goddess, or my
Yeah.
milk is flowing abundantly, and I just pick up these little messages from like everywhere in my life. I have it in my car. Like, so I just put these cards everywhere, and then I like have them at my birth too, and I just love to meditate with them. I do a meditation with them in the morning too. I forgot to add that I do that with my morning routine.
Nice.
And I put these cards out, and then I just visualize my birth for 1 or 2 minutes, and I just visualize myself being strong and centered and everything going smoothly, and I just have that, I get in that energy of this is where it's going.
Yeah.
So yeah, this deck is awesome. I will link it. I will send you the link for it too.
Cool. Yeah, I was afraid. I was like, no, she made it. Can we buy some? But okay, cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, they're so good.
All right,
So good.
guys, stay happy, stay pregnant. We will check in on you in a few months. And thank you for chatting with me today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Okay, thanks. Bye, guys.